Hockey featuring the Fort Wayne Komets on My TV. Good evening, everybody, from the Wings Event Center in Kalamazoo. Ken Horman here ringside. It is Game 4 of this first-round ECHL playoff series between the visiting Fort Wayne Komets and the homestanding Kalamazoo K-Wings. The teams are just now taking to the ice for pregame introductions. The Komets, of course, lead this first-round series 3-0. The Komets have dominated the series, winning 4-2, 3-0, and then taking the commanding 3-0 lead with a 3-1 victory here last night in Wings Stadium. Komets will be without center Paul Crowder. He is out with an upper body injury he suffered in Wednesday night's game. And Kalamazoo without two key players as well. They'll be without their talented rookie left wing Dane Fox and also defenseman Jeremy Blaine. Both of those players will not play tonight. They are out with upper body injuries as well. Michael Neal, the center is Justin Taylor, and the right wing is Jean Bourbeau, the Wings captain. The defensive pair for KZoo, Brett Ponich and Ben Wilson. And getting the start in goal is the veteran Joel Martin. Amazingly, he is the second best playoff goaltender in the league. He has been virtually impenetrable as well, but the Komets have scored just enough goals. And Martin has a save percentage of over 93%, second best in the playoffs, but he's 0-3, so go figure. Probably from the Kalamazoo perspective. The referee is Pierre Lambert, the linesman Francois Ducereau and Sean Morgan, and we are set for playoff hockey. They drop the puck, it comes back to the blue line, centered up ahead and feathered into the Komet zone by Taylor. The race is on. Tam takes the big hit by Bourbeau. Neal steps in, the heavy hit on Tam, so Kalamazoo trying to establish physical presence early. That shot sails over the shoulder of Will by Taylor. Behind the net, Taylor looks to center, bumped off the play. And it goes ahead to center ice. The race is on between Bourbeau and Embach. The puck winds up right in front of the net, and the big mitt of Martin will smother it. So we have played 28 seconds. So Kalamazoo coming out with some pop and some hop in its step, trying to establish a physical presence early. And it's the old saying, are the K-Wings going to think about finding that inner reserve to prolong this series, or is this that time when players start thinking about tea times? We shall see. Brett Perlini, who's back in the lineup tonight for the Komets, is out with Pistilli. And C.J. Severin, there's a long drive, blockered aside by Roman Will. And again, Crowder out with an upper body injury. We do not know the length of the time he will miss. James Martin spins away, banks it off the board. Severin, though, has his pocket picked by Correa, goes right by the side of the net. Nagy couldn't put a stick on it. Into the one corner, racing in is Correa. Rubbed off the play by Severin. But here comes Correa dancing in front, right down the slot. The shot whistles wide by Sam Fatorik. Had a good shot, but missed the net. Now Fatorik again tries to tee it up, and it's poked into the neutral zone. Turning on the Jets is Perlini, but Urban wins the race. Banks it off the boards, and that winds up on goal, so Will drops down, blocks it. Kalamazoo going for the line change, as are some of the Komets. Kaylee Schrock is now out, along with Mitchell Hurd and Matt Lowry. Well, Ian Bartow just taking his time behind the net, looking for that open player. Tries to get it ahead, but it's intercepted by Patrick Kennedy. Dropped back into the KZoo zone, ahead. Chipped off that time by Catalyst. Now Martin moves it ahead to Fye. Now Schrock tries to break out. Here comes Hurd. Hurd tries to dance through the slot. Bouncing biscuit right now. Kennedy gives Schrock the rough ride. Lowry tries to keep it alive. Here's Hurd dancing through the slot. Can Hurd keep it on his stick? He does. Spins and puts a shot that's sticked aside by Joel Martin. Lowry loses an edge as he's bumped off the play in the corner by LaFranchise. Now it's the intercepted again. Hurd tees it up. Shot right on, and it's into the chest that time of Martin. And after the play, some extracurriculars. Sova, Lowry. Now they're going to try to bump Hurd. Kennedy tries to step in, does the old face wash. You could kind of expect this because Kalamazoo, quite frankly, has nothing to lose. So there will be some extracurriculars probably after a lot of whistles. K-Wings figure the only chance they have is to try to intimidate the Komets, which so far has been unsuccessful. Well, is Pierre Lambert going to hand out a penalty? Nope. Just sends the players to their benches. Good non-call there. So it's the money line, Fine, Embach, and Szydlowski. Daniels and Tam on the points. Justin Taylor will take the draw for Kalamazoo. Sits in the circle. Embach circles, comes up front, shot. Ooh, that's off the shoulder that time. Tried to beat him short side, but Martin with the big shoulder. Now Embach steps into Ponic. Embach comes away with the puck, dances away, takes the big hit by Wilson. Justin Taylor takes the hit from behind by Embach, but coming out with the puck is Brett Ponic. Ponic ahead to Neal, but it's too strong for Neal. He did not get a stick on it. That will be an icing against Kalamazoo. We've played 2 minutes and 35 seconds, and scoreless here early in the first period. Komets have a shot advantage here in the early going, 3-2. Glad you could join us for Komet Hockey, brought to you by Parkview Sports Medicine. Now Severin on the draw with Taylor. Comes back to Barteau. He'll just serve it into the corner, and it'll be a joust between Ponic and Severin. He sheds Severin, but that'll go the length of the rink, and that will be another icing on Kalamazoo. Well, don't forget, Parkview Sports Medicine provides performance and fitness training, advanced rehabilitation services, and nutrition consultations to sports enthusiasts at all levels. Learn more by calling Parkview Sports Medicine 266-4007. On the draw, Komets try to control. Severin had his stick held briefly by Taylor. He tries to shed that. Now it's Perlini into the corner, jousting around with Szydl. Puck is loose behind the Kalamazoo net. Pistilli tries to cut off the man Wilson. Kays with a great forecheck. Reaction from the fans as the referee Lambert loses an edge and he falls down. Now Neal and Pistilli are digging for it. Here comes Pistilli. Pistilli feeds it down the middle. Now it's Perlini keeping it alive on the half wall. Pistilli is bumped off the play and basically held there. Pistilli cannot shake free of his man Ponic, and here come the K-Wings back the other way looking for the 3-on-2. Chelios to Neal. Neal, bad angle shot, but that's kicked aside by Roman Will. A centering pass attempted that time, but the Komets sniffed that out, and they dump it back into the Kalamazoo zone. Urban quickly spins, tries to turn the play back up ice. Chipped in by Neal as he goes for a change. Will leaves for Saul. Saul spins around. Now Mitchell Hurd, playing his second game back with the Komets after his stint up at Lake Erie. Big hit that time was applied to Mears by Fatorik, and that time Mears got blindsided. The physicality is stepping up. Now Hurd, good back checking on Nagy. Long pass goes ahead to Lowry. Lowry looks to center, puts the shot right on. That's blocked aside that time by Joel Martin. A frenetic pace here now, end-to-end action. Chipped in and right on goal by Fatorik. And after the play, Mears is still upset by the blindside hit he took, but I believe it was Fatorik who laid the shoulder into him. So Korea doing a lot of talking as he is skating away. And that was another one of the sidebars to tonight's game. Sam Fatorik, the veteran, 40-year-old blue liner, was actually moving up to play wing tonight with the injury to Dane Fox. So it's Phi out, and he will take the draw against Gergo Nagy. Nagy spins around, takes a look, and now Pierre Lambert is having a conversation with Gary Graham. And frankly, it's a rather animated conversation right now. Now a quick last change as the K-Wings are shifting defensemen. Back on comes Ponic, along with Ben Wilson. Nagy on the draw, right back cleanly to Wilson. Wilson takes a look, just snaps it into the corner. Behind the net, Catalyst has it, tries to center it in front. That carried off a skate. Now it's intercepted by the Komets. Szydlowski given a rough ride that time by Wilson, but Sid has it and feeds it up ahead. Phi comes away with the puck, but it looked like he was being reeled in by Blomstrand. And Blomstrand has been quite a story. He was a goal-scoring machine for Kalamazoo. He's -6 in the playoffs. Spy with a quick shot. That time it was blocked. That time it flips over the top of the goal. Now Blomstrand will control. He's stepped into that time by Embach. Szydlowski takes Wilson off the play. Fye behind the net trying to outduel Ponic. Puck comes along the high wall, and ahead it goes right on the stick of Ponic. Ponic, the big defenseman, throws it high off the glass behind the Komet goal. Tam rubbed from behind that time by Blomstrand. A lot of hitting here in the early going. Flipped ahead back into the KZoo zone, and Urban loses an edge twice. A little bit of a Bronx cheer from the KZoo fans. Neal tries to step into Pistilli. Now Bourbeau can't deliver the hit on Tam, and here come the Komets breaking out. Flipped into the corner, the chase is on. Racing in is CJ7. Pistilli intercepts right in front into the goal mouth, and after the play, Taylor, and they're roughing up Severin. Now you're going to see a lot of this after every whistle. And we see going off the ice during this stoppage of play, and this could be an interesting development for Kalamazoo because Denny Urban went off the ice. Of course, he lost an edge a couple of times, so maybe he has a skate issue. And let's see if we have some penalty time coming up. We get a roughing call, and that will go against Kalamazoo. So the Komets will go on the power play. It comes at the 5:35 mark of period number 1, and I believe they're going to give that to Taylor. So we'll see what the Komets can do with the man advantage. And again, it's the money line out. Fye against Nagy on the faceoff. And Kalamazoo is able to clear it right off the draw. Actually, they give the roughing penalty to Chelios. So it was Chelios who stepped in. Penalty coming at the 5:35 mark. Now the K's work it ahead to Hurd. Hurd glides through the slot, tries to move it ahead to Fye. Fye and LaFranchise go after the puck. It comes back to the top of the circle, and Kalamazoo looking to break it out. Kennedy will just take his time and dump it back into the Komet corner. So the K's regroup and come back the other way. Embach has a little space, goes off the skate of Taylor. Now here comes Szydlowski, feeds it over. Fye takes a look behind the net to Embach, goes between Fye's feet. Kept in, though, at the point that time by Szydlowski, but here come the K-Wings intercepting and looking to break in with numbers. They keep it onside. Ponic, the big burly defenseman, is bumped off the play by Embach. Now the Komets look out, an errant pass. Bourbeau tried to put it into the slot area, but it went off a skate. Now this will not be an icing, but Kalamazoo has a chance to clear it ahead, and Martin with a nifty play to Ponic. And Kalamazoo, look out. Here is Bourbeau, tries to just feed it in front. That almost caromed in off the net. And now behind the play, here comes Martin. Martin ahead to Pistilli. Pistilli circles. Now it's Martin trying to slide it deep into the Kalamazoo zone. Sova rubs him off the play. It comes back. Now here's Pistilli. Snaps it off the glass. Sova, though, has it, and he'll just ring it around the boards. Martin was able to stop it briefly. Now the play goes ahead. Pistilli quickly. Here comes Perlini. Now Perlini to Mears. Mears takes the hit by LaFranchise, and there is an offside call. 12:36 to go in the opening period. There has been end-to-end action. Still 11 seconds left in the Komet power play. Shots now favor the K's 5-4. And now it's Lowry out to center along with Hurd and the captain, Kaylee Schrock. Off the draw, it's right into the feet of Fatorik. Boy, it's weird to see the veteran Sam Fatorik, a defenseman, playing up front. Komets with a chance. Shot right on by Schrock, and it's smothered again by Martin. Just 3 seconds left in the man advantage for the Komets. Again, the Komets looking to complete a 4-game sweep. Kalamazoo still wants to have something to say about that, and especially here on its home ice. If there would be a Game 5, it would be right back here tomorrow night with a 7:30 face-off. And penalty is up, and the Wings breaking in with numbers. Correa spins around. Big shot by Nagy. That caught Will high up on the chest protector. Well, Fatorik tried to feed it back, but nobody had come to man the blue line. It's swatted in by Correa. Now it's Soul taking a look over his shoulder. Fatorik tries to step into him. Got to give Sam Fatorik credit because the guy's been around forever. And I think he realizes any game could be his final game, as now we have an icing called on the Komets. Fatorik, a pro for 17 years. So the face-off to the left of the goaltender Roman Will. It'll be Nagy against Matt Lowry. If you just may be tuning in, again, the Komets without center Paul Crowder, who is out with an upper body injury. So with Crowder out, Brett Perlini back in the lineup tonight. Cody Saul, fine rushing defenseman, leads the charge. Big hip check applied to Schrock. Puck's loose in front. Hurd shoots. Oh, a big pad save that time by Martin. Loose puck, the Komets have it. Comes back to the point, shot from the point, gloved by Joel Martin. A huge save that time by Martin, and we have a timeout on the ice here in the first period of a scoreless hockey game. You're watching My Komets on My TV.
Our presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
With our producer Steve Carruthers back in Fort Wayne, Ken Horman here at Wings Event Center, and off the draw, a long shot from the point is gloved high by the goaltender Joel Martin. 11:36 to go in the opening period, and we are scoreless. Komets now with the shot advantage, 8-5. And once again, the money line out for the Komets, Fye, Embach, and Szydlowski. Justin Taylor on the draw for Kalamazoo. Bourbeau and Neal are his wings. Comes back to the point. Daniels with a shot, sails high and wide. Taylor has it for Kazoo and flips it high to center. And that will be a hand pass as it was swatted away by Daniels, then played by Fye. So the face-off will go outside the Komet zone. On the draw, Neal spins and slides it into the Komet zone. Tam behind the net, chased by Taylor. Ahead it goes to Fye through traffic. And Neal, the big winger, leaves it back. It's intercepted, but that time Szydlowski's pass was too strong for Embach. And now the K's play back in their own zone. Drew Daniels surveys the landscape, goes cross ice to Fye with speed. Fye bangs it off the boards, takes the hit that time by Sova. LaFranchise turns and leaves it along the high wall. Puck is loose, but Sova will start the breakout. Embach tries to step into him. Now Fye tries to just dump a little pass ahead to Szydlowski, and now Szydlowski taking a big hit by Bourbeau. Long pass comes up towards center. Neal turns and gets just enough starch on the puck to drop it back into the Komet zone. James Martin circles. Forecheck that time by Blomstrand. Now the K's look to flip it ahead. Urban, who I believe had his skates repaired, but Urban has the puck taken away from him by Perlini. What a job by Perlini as they joust for the puck. Martin feeds it back in behind where Pistilli awaits. Pistilli takes a look, tries to throw it in front. Stick save that time by Martin. Another centering pass. That time it's intercepted by Denny Urban, but his pass goes off the skates of Perlini. Kays with a great forecheck right now as we reach the halfway mark of period number 1. Chelios slips the check that time by Bartow. Centering pass that time is too strong, and Ponic has to play at center ice. He'll just rip it back into the Komet zone, and that will be a delayed offside against Kalamazoo. 9:50 to go in the first period. And we have another timeout here at Wings Event Center. We are scoreless. You're watching My Komets on My TV.
Presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
Off the draw, the Komets try to control. Lowry breaking in near the half wall, tries to center again. He takes the big hit by LaFranchise, but Lowry tries to put it near the side of the net. There's going to be a penalty coming up. Let's see who they're going to call it on. Now it looks like it's going to be an interference call. And it's Garrett Mears skating to the penalty box. So Mears gets the penalty. It comes at the 10:27 mark of period number 1. So Kalamazoo on the power play for the first time. Nagy on the draw against Phi. Bangs high off the boards. Now it comes back to the point. One-timer that time. Urban didn't get much on it. Now Phi tries to carry puck into the corner. Correa behind the net looks to center. He's taken off the play that time by Tam. No call. I think Kalamazoo was looking for a penalty on Tam. And the Komets have a chance to break out 2-on-1. Oh, if only Phi could have got it ahead to Daniels, but now here come the Wings back with numbers the other way. Nagy dances into the corner. Now Nagy back to the point. Chelios back to Nagy. Now right at the side of the net. They look to center it up the middle. It goes off the skate that time of Phi. Now Nagy just taking his time. Tam tries to poke the puck away. Crazy bounce. Now it's Neal back to Nagy. Nagy to the point to Chelios. Chelios dancing near the blue line. Just flips it on goal. And through the traffic, it's gloved by Mears. And then some extracurriculars again afterwards. 8:42 to go in the first period. Scoreless. 1:09 left in the Kalamazoo power play. Now, both teams have identical stats as far as special teams. Both teams 8.3% on the power play. Both teams 91.7% on the penalty kill. Each team has had one penalty. Chelios went off 2 minutes for roughing. Mears sitting in the sin bin right now for interference. And they rule the puck was dropped unfairly, so we'll do it all again. Catalyst was run out of the face-off circle, so now it's Kennedy against Matt Lowry. And Lowry does a good job of winning the draw, and all sorts of room for Bartow, who will just send it high and flip it the length of the rink. Short hop that time by Martin. Martin just has to flip it past Kaylee Schrock, so the hustling Comet captain putting a lot of pressure on the Wings and taking valuable time off that clock. Now Fatorik backpedals behind his own net. Now it's the veteran Sam Fatorik trying to lead the breakout. He'll leave the pass for Catalyst, who drops back for Blomstrand. Now Blomstrand into the Comet zone, snaps it right off the glove that time. Shot fired, oh, a score! Well, it was the first drive that went off of Roman Will's glove and came right back out. And that could be a goal by the veteran Sam Fatorik if that was not tipped, and that will be a power play goal. The time of the goal is 11:53. And for the first time in the series, Kalamazoo has been on the board first. Now, it looked like when Fatorik got the puck in the high slot, he fired a slap shot that maybe hit somebody and then just kind of flipped over Roman Will. Now the Komets look to break it out. Bartow backhands it ahead. Now the Komets look to break in. Severin has it poked off his stick. That'll be an offside on the Komets. Now Kalamazoo has scored only 3 goals in the entire series, so that'll be the first for Sam Fatorik, if indeed he does get credit for his stick. So the Wings on the board first for the first time in the series. 7:50 to go in this opening period. Taylor wins the draw. Chelios drops back, big hit that time as Martin stepped into Bourbeau, and as the play goes in, Will gloves it, and finishing the play that time was Bartow. So the Komets deciding they're going to hand out a little bit of punishment as well. K-Wings lobbying for a penalty against Bartow, and he really rode Scheidel into the boards. Well, Pierre Lambert is sending the Komets back to their bench. They were trying to sneak a line change in, and of course the home team always has the last change. So the Komets did not get the troops out there they wanted to, so it'll still be Severin, Perlini, and Pistilli in the defensive tandem of Barteau and James Martin. Justin Taylor on the draw. Draws it back to Chelios. Chelios with a low wrist shot. That's in a lot of traffic. Bourbeau turns and fires. The puck is loose in front. Now Urban tries to center in front. Chipped ahead. Well, they give the goal, by the way, to Lucas Blomstrand, so that must have chipped off of him. And it'll be Fatorik and Catalyst now with the assists. So Blomstrand has his first goal of the playoffs. Now Pistilli ridden off the play that time by Bourbeau. Now Scheidel with a heavy hit that time on the Komets Tam. Kays look to break ahead. Pistilli goes across to Severin. Severin takes a look. Oh, he just tries to put it onto the stick of Tam, but a little too sharp. And Tam is bumped off the play. Komets looking for interference. Here's Blomstrand gliding past, looks to center, right in front, and Catalyst, the shot is kicked away. Now it's Tam trying to clear ahead. And again, the pace of play has really picked up here. Now it's Kennedy. Dumping it in, chasing, bumping Daniels. Catalyst looks to center. Embach tries to chip it out. Does Ponich keep it in? Yes, he does. And a crazy Karam comes right in front of the Komet goal. And the K's, that time Pistilli just flips it high to center ice, and the biscuit will wind up into the Kalamazoo zone, and it goes for an icing. So Blomstrand gets the goal, as it must have banged off of his stick and then flipped over Roman Will. And then the assist will go to Fatorik and Catalyst. And the time of the goal, 11:53, 1-0 Kalamazoo. Now, the Komets were hoping for a quick start to maybe break the will of the K-Wings, but it looks like, at least here in the early going, Kalamazoo has shown up. Not quite ready to call it a season just yet. Down to 6:10 to go in this opening period, and Kalamazoo has picked things up. They now have the 10-8 shot advantage. Okay, he's having a little trouble getting the puck out of their own zone right now. And Daniels just looks to break past Nagy, and he does. Here's Drew Daniels starting the rush. Penetrates the zone, spins around, leaves it for Szydlowski. The shot, score! Whoo! What a goal by Szydlowski! And a lot of Komet fans are letting them hear about it. Well, Daniels started the rush out, penetrated the zone. When he lost the edge, he left it, and Szydlowski snapped the high wrist shot over the shoulder of Joel Martin. The time of the goal, 14-16. What a goal by Szydlowski. The Komets answer, and we are tied at 1. Daniels with an assist. For Szydlowski, his second goal of the playoffs, and we are tied 1-1. What a shot by Szydlowski. Now Cody Saul intercepts the pass, tries to dump it in. Schrock will hustle. Rubbed off the play that time by Sova. LaFranchise in there trying to come away with the puck, but the K's have it. Now Hurd is bumped hard that time by LaFranchise. Now the K's now trying to grab the momentum. Big high hit by Kennedy, and Kennedy continues to hit his man. Now returning the favor that time is Lowry, and Lowry gives chase behind the net, but there will be an icing called against the Komets. So when they dumped it ahead, they had not crossed center ice. 5:14 to go, period 1. We are tied at a goal apiece. So the face-off this time to the right of Roman Will. Szydlowski, his second goal. Daniels, and they're giving Michael Tam an assist as well. So the defensive duo each pick up a helper. Urban tries to shoot it on goal. It caroms off a skate. Here is William Lacasse. And Lacasse tries to move it ahead. Hurd has it. Now Hurd tries to knife through some Kalamazoo players, puts the shot, but it flips over the net. Now it's Hurd staying with it. Turned off the play that time by Urban. Nagy comes cross ice, and Correa has it. puts on the brakes. That time tries to leave for Fatorik, but the pocket is picked by Cody Saul. And here come the Komets ahead, but a delayed offside is called. And back behind the play, we got a couple of players tangled up. You got Nagy tangled up with Schrock. Well, we've got a timeout here at the Wings Event Center. We are tied in Game 4 of this playoff series between Kalamazoo and the Komets, 1-1. You're watching My Komets on My TV. Now, Kaylee Schrock and Gergo Nagy both went off 2 minutes for roughing at the 15-14 mark while we were away. So now with back to action, it's Neal trying to center, but winds up on goal. So now Neal and Tam having a little conversation after Roman Will puts the big mid over the puck. Schrock and Nagy were not exactly exchanging recommendations for restaurants. And that will probably be the theme for the rest of the night. So it's Schrock and Nagy roughing at the 15-14 mark. We have just under 4.5 minutes to play here in period 1. A tie hockey game, 1-1. Ludwig Blomstrand tipped in a drive from the high slot by Sam Fatorik on a power play. That came at 11:53. Sean Szydlowski got the equalizer at 14:16 from Daniels and Tam. Now behind the net, a wraparound attempt that time. Just misses by Szydl. Now Szydl comes in. Big hit that time on Daniels. Kalamazoo figures they have to try to take the Komets off their game. Now it comes ahead to Fye. He's one-on-one with Chelios. Chelios bangs him off the play. Now right near the Komet bench, Taylor steps into his man as he drills Tam. And now Taylor goes high on Tam. Here's Fye. Fye spins around. Looks for somebody to come to the point, but the K's are in a change. But Fye still has the puck. Tries to feed it ahead to Saul, who raced in from his defensive position. A lot of open ice right now as they're playing 4-on-4. And that time, Lacasse tries to clear it out. Denny Urban bumps Lacasse into the corner. A lot of talking going on after the whistles and a lot of extracurriculars. It's playoff hockey, folks. And of course, tonight, Kalamazoo is a desperate, desperate hockey club. Off the face-off, controlled by Lacasse. He flips it off the boards, and Mears tries to spin. Mears is all but just bulldogged down that time by Sova. Now a battle of 44s as Saul steps into Sova. And they are just rugby scrumming for the puck behind the net. That time Saul drills his man. And staying down, it looks like, is Sova. Now all sorts of things going on. Catalyst lost his helmet, so he had to skate back to the Komet bench. And I believe that is Sova down behind the Komet net, and he is not moving at all. Now the Kalamazoo fans are letting referee Pierre Lambert hear it. They thought there should have been a penalty. I didn't really notice Saul go into him that hard. 3:14 to go here in period number 1. We are tied at 1, and the Kalamazoo player has not budged an inch. Called. And it did look like Cody Saul was trying to let up. He was definitely going to step into the man because, hey, from the opening faceoff, Kalamazoo has carried the physicality, and the Komets more than willing to oblige and return the favor. Still 28 seconds left on the coincidental minors to Schrock and Nagy. Now it's Lowry controlling the puck. Circles in his own zone, comes across. Martin now fires across in front of his own goal to Barteau. Barteau spins away. Now Barteau taken off the puck that time by Taylor. Szydl intercepts. Szydl with the high shot. It's laying around right in front of the net. Big save first by Roman Will. So an aggressive forecheck by the K-Wings. And now coming away with it is Martin. Martin spins around again as the Komets look to regroup. Teams now both return to full strength. Martin comes ahead. Lowry breaking in. Martin leaves for Bartow. Bartow fans on it, and actually, as he tried to take the big slap shot, his stick broke in half. Bartow has to race back without a stick. Big drive that time by Fatorik, and it's gloved by Roman Will. Well, it's a good thing Fatorik decided to take the shot because it started out as a possible 2-on-1 for the K-Wings, and Bartow wanted to get a new stick from the bench, but he realized he couldn't. So he raced back just to try to put a body between the K-Wings when they were potentially developing a 2-on-1. Fatorik just took the big shot, and Will gloved it. Now 2:27 left in the opening period. Nagy on the draw that time with Severin. Perlini can't clear. Now near the high wall, the Komets do chip it out to center ice where Correa has it, just flips it right back into the corner. Tam being chased by Fatorik. Fatorik with the big body check. That'll go the length of the rink, and that'll be an icing on the Komets with 2:08 to go in this first period. Don't forget, Komet fans, you can watch all the action with My Komets on My TV at the official watch zone, the Tilted Kilt at Jefferson Point. Stop by the Kilt for all Komet Road playoff games. You have a chance to win a pair of tickets to future Komet home games and receive a 15% discount on game days. Tilted Kilt, Jefferson Point, the official watch zone for all broadcasts of My Komets on My TV. Hope there's a good crowd at the Kilt tonight, perhaps watching the game. I can tell you there is a huge contingent of Komet fans here at the Wings Event Center. Under 2 minutes to go in a 1-1 game here in the first period. That's flipped high to center ice. Now the Komets try to reclaim possession. Kennedy shoved off the play by Tam right in front of the Komet bench. Tam bulldogs Kennedy to the ice. A lot of scrumming around right near center ice right now. Urban controls for the time being. It's a delayed offside in the Komets, so they have to clear the zone anyway. Now Denny Urban will just spin around, take it behind his own net. Embach takes a look as he has a little conversation with goaltender Joel Martin. A long pass is kicked away by Bartow. Coming away is Kennedy, the Catalyst. Catalyst into the Komet zone. Catalyst with a wrist shot right into the tummy. That time of Roman Will, he'll smother it up. And we are down to 1 minute and 7 seconds left here in the opening period. A 1-1 hockey game, if you just might be tuning in. Ludwig Blomstrand got a tip in off a drive by Sam Fatorik on a Kalamazoo power play at the 11:53 mark of period 1. Sean Szydlowski on a sizzling snapshot off a pass from Drew Daniels equalized the game at 14-16. That's where we stand. Shots right now favor the Wings, 13-9. Soul behind the net to Hurd. Hurd will flip it high to center. And it hit the scoreboard. Brand new scoreboard. It's a big monster of a scoreboard, a video board here that was installed for this season at Wings Stadium. But this is not a huge building. Capacity for hockey listed at 5,113. So a Coliseum, this place is not. And so that monster scoreboard does hang down relatively low. Taylor against Lowry, comes back to the point. Sova, who is back on the ice for the K-Wings, that's good to see. Now Bourbeau leaves it into the corner for Neal. Neal is bumped off by Soul. Bourbeau steps into Haley Schrock. Now it's behind the net. Taylor looks to center but can't. Hurd bangs it off the boards ahead to Schrock. Schrock will break out with Neal on his heels. Now it's Bourbeau firing it in, and I believe that should be an icing. Indeed it is. So we are down to the final 33 seconds. And somebody is going to go to the box, and I wonder if it was for too much yapping. I think somebody is going to get an unsportsmanlike. And we'll see who it is. It will come at the 19:27 mark. And it's going to be Sova. So Sova goes off 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike. That could be a huge break for the Komets. Now Sova may be frustrated that there was no call by Pierre Lambert when he was hit into the glass behind the Komet goal. Sova is still standing in the penalty box, and he is still giving Lambert an earful. Well, you've got the money line out for the Komets, plus Mitchell Hurd. Well, Kalamazoo finally gets a fifth player off the ice, realizing, yes, indeed, it's a Komet power play. So Fye, Embach, Szydlowski, Hurd, and Daniels out for the Komets. Neal taking the draw against Fye, and who will win it? It's in the feet. And Embach controls for the Komets, bumped off the play by Wilson. Now the Komets try to dig it out down to the final 25. Wilson just trying to pin it along the boards. Hurd dances through the slot. Embach takes a look. Embach to Hurd at the side of the net. Oh, he tries to wrap it through. Can't. Puck is loose. Taylor chips it out, but racing down is Daniels. We're down to the final 10. Boy, that time Taylor laying the lumber just slashes the stick out of the hands of Daniels down to the final 5. Embach with a low shot. Kick the side. Rebound. Score! With 1.5 seconds to go. The Komets. Mitchell Hurd on the backhander on the power play. It'll be Hurd. Welcome back, Mitchell Hurd. His first of the playoffs. Embach will have an assist. And what a job by the Komets to move the puck up. Well, officially, it'll be at 19:59. What a huge goal by the Komets. And now that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty called against Sova looms large. And that'll do it as the period ends. Great period for the Komets, as after they fell behind 1-0, they score a goal by Hurd with 1 second to go in the period, and a huge Komet throng here at Wings Stadium is letting the K's hear it as they go off the ice. So we have completed the first 20 minutes of play, and the Komets lead Kalamazoo 2-1. We'll take a break and come back to recap the first period. You're watching My Komets on My TV.
And now, back to My Komet Sports Medicine.
Back at the Wings Event Center in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Kent Horman here. Glad you could join us for My Komets on My TV. Getting set to start the second period with the Komets carrying a 2-1 lead over Kalamazoo. Game 4 of this best-of-7 first-round ECHL playoff series between North Division rivals Fort Wayne and Kalamazoo. Komets with the 3-0 lead, looking to close it out tonight, but still 40 minutes of hockey left, and Kalamazoo played with an awful lot of heart in period number 1. Really stepped up the physical play as you would expect. Actually had a 1-0 lead on the goal by Blomstrand on the power play, but then Szydlowski and Hurd answered for the Komets. And we are underway period 2. Draw goes back to Tam, comes cross ice to Daniels. Puck is a little too strong. It slides into Kalamazoo's end, and that'll be a quick icing call against the Komets. So again, the K's will put the money line out to start period 2 of Fye, Embach, and Szydlowski, Daniels and Tam. The defensive core, Bourbeau, Neal, and Taylor. Taylor wins the draw, drops it back to Ponich. Ponich tries to fire it right across through the goal mouth. It misses, but Wilson at the far point banks it off the boards. Bourbeau tries to keep it alive. Szydlowski bangs him off the play. Now Szydlowski has it in his feet, tries to pin it along the high wall. Fye looks to dig it out, manages to dump it to center ice. Fye turning on the Jets. Ponich has the pocket almost picked, and Fye just about comes away with the puck, but Ponich spins away, and Wings looking to break out with numbers. Ponich down the slot. Big shot that time by Taylor, and a chest save by Roman Will. K's banging off the boards, and it goes on goal to negate the icing. Joe Sova fires ahead. Catalyst gets it back to Kennedy. Behind the net, Will leave for Bartow. They ring it around the boards, and it comes back to the neutral zone. LaFranchise comes across. Catalyst, a little backhand pass. That goes to Kennedy. Kennedy just let the puck go into the corner. Big hit that time was applied by Blomstrand, but the K's break out. Pistilli tries to slide by Sova. He's just given a modest push. And now Urban with Perlini giving pursuit, but here come the Wings back the other way. Wings in their home whites, blue trim. Komets with their road blacks, orange trim. Now Martin fires the puck way up ahead. Collected that time by Severin. Severin, the quick wrist shot right on, and smothered that time by Joel Martin. We have played just over a minute and a half of period number 2. Komets with that 2-1 lead. At last report, they were just getting ready to start the second period up in Wheeling, and Toledo with a 1-0 lead over the Nailers. Wheeling leads that best-of-7 series 2-1, so if the Komets can close it out tonight, they will rest up and await the winner of Toledo-Wheeling to be their opponent in the second round. And, of course, Toledo won the regular season ECHL championship. Now Fatorik can't get the puck out of the zone, kept in by Lowry. Into the corner as they dig around for it. Mears to Hurd. Hurd fires wide. Now back to the point, Lacasse. He takes a look, keeps it on the blue line. Behind the net it goes. Too strong for Lowry. Waiting to get the puck is Fatorik. He's bumped off the play by Mears. Now Correa will chip it back into his own zone. And the K-Wings looking to break out. Nagy leaves. Cross-ice pass is blocked by the Komets. Lowry intercepts, knocks it down with his hand, leaves for Lacasse. Comes ahead to Mears. Mears has some open ice. Now Mears comes to the line. Mears fires it on goal. Big pad save that time by Martin. Sol tries to put it on, but it's blocked. Now Sol still has it. Correa behind. Tries to chop the puck away. Sol is going to go for a line change. Now behind the play, here comes Mears. Slicing in that time is Mitchell Hurd, who has one of the goals. In fact, he has the lead goal. Now it comes back near the point. Lacasse pinches it back in. Still keeps it into the zone. Boy, that's a bang down from behind as Fatorik looking for a breakaway. Now he chops at the feet that time of Daniel. So there could have been a couple of penalties on Fatorik. Now Jake Chelios behind the LaFranchise, bumped by Embach. 5 steps into his man. Oh, a dangerous pass went right through the goal mouth. And this will go the length of the rink. That should be an icing on Kalamazoo. So we have played just about 3 minutes of period number 2. Komets with the 2-1 lead. K's have a couple of shots on goal, and they've been testers for Joel Martin. K-Wings have 1 so far. Kalamazoo still with a 14-13 shot advantage. Phi wins the draw, comes back to Szydlowski. Ooh, he snakes the shot on goal just wide. Big drive on the rebound, and that time a save by Martin as Daniels sneaked in from his spot at the point and shot it from the high wall. Martin had to be prepared. Well, again, an awfully partisan Fort Wayne crowd is in the house tonight. It was a really, really small crowd on Wednesday. A little bit improved tonight, but again, an awful lot of orange and black here in the audience. Off the draw, K-Wings look to break it out. Blomstrand will snap it into the corner, and will play it off the wall and just smother it up. A little conversation between Martin and Blomstrand after Will stops play. 16:47 to go in period number 2. Well, the Komets would love to get another goal. That would be 3 consecutive goals, and if you give Fort Wayne a 2-goal lead, it'll be interesting to see what happens to the spirit of the Kalamazoo Wings. Down 3-0. Komets with an opportunity to close it out tonight. Puck is not dropped. Severin and Catalyst for the faceoff. And it's drawn neatly back. There's a shot that is whistled wide that time as Urban missed everything. Now Schrock tries to gather the puck. Bartow has it instead. Backhands it across to his defensive mate Martin. That's a little too strong for Pistilli, who's bumped off the play by Sova. Back into the Komet zone. Now Martin methodically takes a look. Dances over the blue line. Has some space. Into the Kalamazoo zone. Slides by the attempted hip check by Sova. And now Schrock hustles to get the puck. Severin fires it off the shin guards that time of Kennedy. Flipped high into the Kalamazoo zone, and that winds up off the netting, so there will be a face-off. I'm noticing a couple of the wings are stepping up the stick work a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on that. 16-12 left here in the second period, and the K's still with the 2-1 advantage. Now off the draw into the Kalamazoo zone. Ben Wilson back to Ponich. Ponich up the middle. Left for Bourbeau. Bourbeau breaks in. Kalamazoo with some numbers. There's a quick wrist shot right into the body of Will. Big save, and then the rebound is cleared back to center ice. A glorious scoring opportunity for the K-Wings, but Roman Will again up to the task. Bourbeau leaves a backhander for Szydl, intercepted by Phi. Now Lacasse takes a look. William Lacasse starts the breakout. Ahead to the breaking Embach. Embach with some room. Slides by Bourbeau. In front. Oh, it just slides through the goal mouth. Nobody put a shillelagh on it. Now that is just chipped high over the net that time by Cody Saul. And they will say played with a high stick. And that will go against the Komets in the face-off outside of the zone. 15:28 to go in period number 2. K's still holding on to the 2-1 lead. Boy, Roman Will has again made some big saves in this hockey game. Now it's Lowry to center Hurd and Mears against Nagy, Fatorik, and Correa. Sam Fatorik, the 40-year-old veteran, playing a forward spot tonight with Dane Fox out. Boy, what a talented rookie he was for Kalamazoo this year. Now Nagy chopping away at Mears, but the K's come away with the puck. Banked off the boards. Tam has to give chase. Big hit that time on the collision. That time by Fatorik. Right in front, and it's Fatorik looking for a rebound score. Boy, Mears is absolutely livid. The Komets thought the puck was under control, and now again you've got Correa in there. But the goal is going to stand, it appears. It will come at the 4:56 mark. Now the puck squirted through Roman Will after he made the first save. It just sat there on the doorstep, and it was right there, and I believe it was perhaps Fatorik gliding through there, picking up the loose change, and now Sam Fatorik has a goal, and we are all tied 2-2. At the 4:56 mark. That's a huge goal for Kalamazoo. Well, now conversation at the K-Wings bench between referee Pierre Lambert and the head coach Nick Bootlin. Well, it's obvious now that Kalamazoo will not go down without a fight, and Bootlin trying to work the officials. Nagy will likely have an assist. So brand new hockey game, 2-2 at the 4:56 mark of period number 2. So we'll see if the K's can answer again. Bloomstrand comes ahead. Kennedy has his shot deflected that time by Barteau, but Kalamazoo now comes back to the point. Gloved by Urban, keeps it down. That shot winds up in Severin. Catalyst is taken off the play. Here come the K's. Schrock breaking in. Now Schrock is cross-checked to the ice. Meanwhile, Chelios taking his man Severin off the play. Carrier gets the other assist on the goal. Now all sorts of issues going on with Severin and Urban, but on they play, and the Komets better be wary of this. Chelios carrying in for the Wings, bumped off that time by Daniels. Chelios still has it, looks to center. Komets can't clear it away, and it's kept into the zone. Into the corner, Kalamazoo putting the pressure on. Neal has it. Neal right in front. Oh, Taylor couldn't chip it home. Now it's Ponich. Ponich will serve it back into the corner. Neal leaves for Taylor. Back to Neal. The shot right in front. Phi looks to clear it away, but can't do it. Now it's Embach and Neal going at it. Taylor and Phi joust. Comes back to the point. Ponich will take a look. That goes high off the net. A good spinning shot that time by Taylor. The save is made, and then Szydl in there chopping away. We're going to have all sorts of issues now, and we're also going to have a timeout. Now, you're going to expect this to happen. We have a timeout here at the Wings Event Center. We are tied 2-2. You're watching My Komets on my TV.
Presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
Well, out of all of that came a 2-minute penalty to the Komets. Sean Szydlowski was the only penalty assessed. 2 minutes roughing, and so Kalamazoo goes on the power play. 2-2, 13:46 to go in period 2, but Kaylee Schrock comes away with the puck for the Komets. Now Schrock going one-on-one, tries to slide by the defender LaFranchise. Schrock pinning the puck into the corner. Good job by Schrock to take some time off of that penalty clock. So Szydlowski, 2 minutes roughing at 6:14, Kalamazoo on the power play. And we have a scoreboard update, period number 2 in Wheeling. Toledo now leads Wheeling 3-0, looking to equalize that series at 2 apiece. Catalyst is bumped by Pistilli. Racing it is Blomstrand. Quick shot, net whistles wide. Blomstrand, though, collects the rebound right in front. Kennedy, the Catalyst, poked off his stick. Back to the point, LaFranchise. Blomstrand back to LaFranchise. Top of the circle, teeing up the one-timer. Glove save. That time the puck is loose. Oh, Kennedy was trying to pick up the loose change, but Pistilli clears. Martin quickly fires it ahead. Well, the Komet fans in this building said there were too many men on the ice. Kalamazoo may have caught a break. It's funny because you hear a big roar and you would think the partisan crowd would be for the K-Wings, but a lot of Komet fans here, and they thought the Wings had too many men on the ice. 1 minute even to go in the power play. Komets send Phi and Embach out, and Phi is having a conversation with Lambert, who just waves him away. Nagy against Phi, and the draw right off. There's a shot that whistles wide by Carria and ripped the length of the rink by Embach. Now Martin, dangerous pass that time as Phi is racing in. Great speed by Phi in the penalty kill. He'll just chip it behind the Kalamazoo goal where Denny scored. And K-Wings look to break out. 40 seconds left in the man advantage. Comes across to Urban. Good cross-ice pass. Carria with a big drive. That was tipped aside and banged off the boards. It goes off the leg that time. Kept in. Komets look to break it out with numbers. Here comes Embach with Lowry. Komets with a 2-on-1. Embach looks, fakes, shoots, hits the goalpost. Oh my goodness, he had a great shot and it beat Martin. Now back the other way. 2-on-1 for the K-Wings. Nagy across Carria and just off the glove that time a Will. What end-to-end action right in front. That's wide. It's Neal with a shot. That's off the body. Right down the slot. Sova fakes. Sova tries to backhand it away, and the K's look to clear. Here comes Daniels. Takes a big slash that time by Carria, and that should be a major. That should be a major penalty, but we'll see what the call is. Well, you already have Crowder on the sideline after a slash that happened Wednesday night. And the captain, Kaylee Schrock, is going to say, where is the major? Wow. If he were a baseball player, it could have been a 380-foot home run. Time of the penalty is 8:17, and I think the Komets would expect at the very least 4 minutes, but it's just a 2-minute slash. And again in Wednesday's game, Paul Crowder was slashed and suffered an upper body injury. He's out of the lineup tonight. So the K's go on the power play. That's chipped back into the neutral zone, and Tam will take it back behind his own goal as the K's set up the power play. Each team has a power play goal in this one. Now it's Tam leading the rush. Tam will ring it around the boards. The race is on for the puck. Again, a funny carom off these backboards here in Kazoo. That's tipped away by Taylor, but Szydlowski races back for the Komets to collect the puck. Now Szydlowski with some open ice starts the rush up the middle. He'll flip it toward the goal. Martin will glove it and hang on for the faceoff. Well, we'll see. And from the Komet perspective, if Drew Daniels is returning, none the less for wear, but that was a pretty serious slash. You make a baseball bat swinging type of motion, you should get 4. So Perlini and Nagy comes back to the point. Martin tries to feed it behind the net. Mears pinned to the boards that time by Sova. Kalamazoo looks to clear and does so. Martin will backpedal as Szydel puts the pressure on. Now intercepting. Here comes Catalyst, but Perlini takes the puck from Catalyst. Comes ahead. Mears ahead. Here comes Pistilli. Pistilli with a big drive, and that just whistles over the glove that time, over the top of the net. And now we have again an issue behind the play with Sova and Mears. A lot of extracurriculars going on away from the puck. Perlini dances in. Severin just saucers it ahead to Martin. Martin gliding deep into the Kalamazoo zone. Severin has set up shop at the top of the point. Sova takes his man off the play. Now Szydel unloading on Pistilli, and we are going to have a penalty called, and let's see who's it on. Now Sova again just trying to engage Mears. It's going to be a roughing penalty, and that will come at 9:35. And are they going to give it to Martin? So Martin goes off, 2 minutes for roughing. At 9:35, there was still 42 seconds left in the Korea penalty. So the teams will play 4-on-4. And honestly, oftentimes that has worked to the Komets' advantage with their speed. More open ice, however, this is a much smaller arena than Memorial Coliseum. Off the draw, it goes back into the Kalamazoo zone where Chelios will circle. Now he feeds it right up the middle. Nagy leaves it back. Urban to Taylor. Now they try to get it right down the middle. Oh, what a great save again by Will, as Urban, sailing down the slot, just took it off the backhand and guided it on goal, and a sensational save by Will. Hurd looking to split the defenders, but Kalamazoo pokes it away. Now it comes back, and Saul has it for the Komets. So Kalamazoo goes on a power play in about 10 seconds. Saul comes ahead. Lowry starts the outbreak for the Komets. Now ahead to Hurd. Hurd on the off wing, goes between the feet, looks to center through the goal mouth, nobody home. And now Kalamazoo goes on the power play. Spinning around is Hurd to Phi. Phi dances around the defense. Phi with a little bit of room. Now Phi will take a look, leave it behind the net for Hurd. Hurd dancing around. The Komets look like they have the power play, but they don't. Now it's Phi. Phi right through the legs of the defender, Urban, in a pad save that time by Martin. Now here comes Kalamazoo breaking out. With speed, it's Blomstrand. Sticked into the corner that time by Will. Tam taken off the play that time. Trying to dig it out as Blomstrand. Stepping in as Kennedy. Backhanding it around the high wall. That time was Blomstrand. Right in front. And the Komets are able to clear. 30 seconds left now in the Wings power play. 8:50 to go in period 2. A 2-2 hockey game. Phi racing in, putting on a great forecheck on Catalyst. Now Kennedy right through the middle. Good job that time, as here come the Wings back the other way. As it's LaFranchise centering it right in front, but intercepted by Szydlowski. Szydlowski just wraps it along the boards. And here comes Saul breaking in. Cody Saul from his defense zone. And that time he pulls the feet out from under Blomstrand, and there is no call. Kalamazoo can't believe it. Now it's Kennedy putting on the brakes. Dumps it into the corner. Comes back to Wilson at the point. He comes across now near the top of the circle. Blomstrand. Catalyst comes across to Blomstrand. Now everybody has to get reorganized. Big shot that time by Catalyst. Blockered aside that time by Roman Will. Now into the corner. Kazu again looking to mark on the power play. Comes to Blomstrand. Blomstrand takes a look. Comes back up to the point. Catalyst takes a look. Leaves. There's a big drive and a save that time by Roman Will. And again, Kennedy jousting around with Bartow. We have a timeout here at Wings Stadium, a 2-2 hockey game in
on MyTV Fort Wayne, presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
Well, set to go in the Komets zone. The face-off will be to the right of Roman Will. We are 2-2 with 7:42 to go in period 2. Lowry against Taylor. A little bit of housekeeping done first of all before the puck is dropped. Kalamazoo pulls it back. Urban dumps it into the corner. Neal, score. Neal set up Taylor, and Taylor with a quick wrist shot over the glove of Roman Will, and Kalamazoo reclaims the lead. Well, what a play off the face-off by Kalamazoo. The time of the goal is 12:23. What a shot that time by Taylor. So Kalamazoo has 2 goals here in period 2 to reclaim the lead 3-2. Taylor's first goal of the postseason. And we know Neal will have an assist. Now Tam battling Szydl. Well, Kalamazoo again is starting to carry the play to the Komets. Well, that time a big check attempt that time by Wilson, and good thing Embach was able to evade it. Now Embach having some words with Wilson. Meanwhile, Daniels, who is back on the ice. A couple of Komets and a couple of Wings scrum for the puck. Into the corner, racing in is Wilson. Wilson takes the hit that time by Tam. Now behind the net, Taylor is bumped off the play by Daniels. They look to center, can't do it. Fye trying to come away with the puck. Neal is hounding him. Now Neal has it. Szydl, the shot. Oh, it's blocked it, and then it goes up into the netting, and somebody broke a stick. .6:53 to go in period number 2. And we have a timeout here at Wings Event Center.
TV Fort Wayne, presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
Komets look to break out, and Severin and Perlini are out there. The puck goes ahead to Pistilli. Pistilli dumps it in behind the zone. Now Ponich tries to come away with the puck. Kays now with the aggressive forecheck as both Severin and Pistilli work on Urban. Now Ponich, though, has the puck. Perlini slices in, takes the puck away. Tries to flip it behind the net. Racing in is Pistilli. Pistilli back behind. And that time, boy, Severin is bumped off the play by Ponich, but Perlini has it for the Komets. Looks to center, can't quite get it done. Kays keep it in. Bartow with a drive, that's deflected. Behind the net, Komets again look to dig it out. Now Fatorik, who's had a big game for the Kalamazoo Wings, comes ahead. Here comes Nagy, a possible 2-on-1. Nagy takes a look. Nagy with a shot over the top of the net. And it winds up carrying off the glass into the protective screen. Well, the lead goal, Justin Taylor, his first of the playoffs. Neal and Urban. Urban picked up the second assist. It comes at 12:23. So with 6 minutes even to go in period 2, Kalamazoo has the 3-2 lead. Lowry is out with Hurd and Mears. Sol and Lacasse are the defensemen, and it'll be the Nagy, Bloomstrand, and Kennedy line for Kalamazoo. Draw is controlled by the Wings, but that pass is too strong for Sova, so Martin comes out and plays it ahead to Sova. Hurd bumps into Joe Sova. Now it comes back deep into the Kalamazoo zone. Wings have outshot the Komets in the game 26-17. And it seems if anything has plagued the Komets at times during the season and the playoffs, as Hurd dances in the shot. Oh, just goes a little bit wide. Is a little bit of second period woes for the K's. Boy, Hurd is just all over the Kalamazoo net, and Martin springs out to smother that. So we will have a face-off in the Kalamazoo zone. But the second period seems to be sometimes problematic for the K's. And after taking a 2-1 first period lead, Kalamazoo a pair of goals here in period 2 to reclaim the lead 3-2. Lowry against Nagy on the faceoff. Lowry takes a look, has a brief chat with Hurd. Repositions Hurd. And the draw is intercepted, and it's flipped into the Komet zone where Sol corrals the bouncing biscuit. Now it turns back into the Kalamazoo zone. Wilson given a hit that time, and there's going to be a penalty on Wilson. As that time, Mears finished his check, and Wilson just turned around and cross-checked him. So a good job by the Komets to kind of sucker Kalamazoo into a needless penalty. Komets go back on the power play. 14:44 is the time of the penalty, and Wilson goes off 2 minutes cross-checking. There's where you have to maintain your composure. What Garrett Mears did is just came in and finished his check. Wilson turned around and just cross-checked him. Puck cleared behind the Komet zone, and Will feeds to Szydlowski. Szydlowski throws it into no man's land, and that's icing on the Komets. One tick above 5 minutes to go in period number 2, 3-2 Kalamazoo. Wings have outshot the Komets for the period 13-7, 26-18 for the game. Puck goes behind the Komet zone, and Hurd almost had his pocket pick. Now the K's look to break out. That time Szydlowski avoids a big check by Bourbeau. Oh, what a great job by Fye to control the puck with his feet. Now Fye takes a look. He's basically collared that time by Bourbeau. Szydlowski at the point, comes up top to Daniels, comes across to Hurd. Hurd dances in. Shot. Oh, what a toe save that time by Martin. Tremendous play that time by Martin on a good move by the Komets. K's look to keep the pressure on. Along the low half wall, Hurd goes to the ice, but Fye has it for the K's, takes a look, comes across, looking to tee it up. That shot is right on and smothered that time by Joel Martin. As it was Embach just at the corner of the net. So far the power play has looked pretty good. Now Szydlowski having a conversation with Taylor. As you would expect in playoff hockey, and then especially when you have a desperate team in Kalamazoo, a lot of post-whistle conversation going on out there. .103 to go in the Fort Wayne power play. Boy, I'll tell you what, Nick Bootlin, the coach of Kalamazoo, has had a lot of conversation with Pierre Lambert, tonight's referee. Perlini on the draw against Nagy. And who will come away with it? Komets try to control it. Well, that time Pistilli fired it hard off the boards and nobody was home, so it winds up right in the Komet zone. And Martin will have to regroup for the K's. Clock winds down to 4 minutes to go in period 2. Martin ahead as Severin got a stick on it. Martin couldn't control it for the face-off. Now Chelios has it, and Chelios fires it that time off the body of Martin. Scheidel has it for Kalamazoo. Intercepted that time by Pistilli, and now here's C.J. Severin. Severin turning on the Jets. Gives it to Perlini. Perlini to Mears. Mears turns. Cycles around. Now he leaves for Pistilli. Comes back to the point to Martin. Martin takes a look. Back to Pistilli. Pistilli to Martin. Martin will tee it up. The shot right on, and a save by Martin. And then Chelios buries the Komet right there in front of the net. And we'll have, again, a bunch of extracurriculars. Now Pistilli is tied up with Catalyst. Now Ponic and Severin. And the traditional face washing. Now Catalyst will come up and throw a cheap shot at Pistilli afterwards. I think Pierre Lambert's done a good job, though, of trying to keep as much law and order on the ice as possible. And again, this is just playoff hockey, so a whole lot of pushing and shoving and yapping, but no penalties issued. So the Komets still have 15 seconds of power play time. The faceoff does come outside of the Fort Wayne zone. 3.5 minutes to go in period number 2. A pair of Kalamazoo goals here in this second stanza have now put the K-Wings back on top, 3-2. Puck in the Kalamazoo zone. LaFranchise fires ahead. Bourbeau has it. And it's ruled onside, so as the puck goes into the Komet corner, that will just about do it for the power play. Tam banks it off the boards, takes the return pass that time from Szydlowski, and the penalty is up, so the team's at even strength. Embach will chip it into the zone, and racing in is Fye, as Fye will bump LaFranchise off the play afterwards. Pass goes ahead. Long pass gathered by Correa, but neatly has him off the play is Drew Daniels. Now here comes Szydlowski, a 2-on-1. Szydlowski, Embach bands on the one-timer. Oh, the Komets had a great chance to tie it, but Embach just couldn't get the lumber on the one-timer off a great pass by Szydlowski. Here come the Wings back the other way. Fired into the corner. Nagy takes a look over his shoulder, just dumps it deep once again. Pam hit from behind that time by Fatorik. Now it comes back. Delayed offside, so Kalamazoo has to clear the zone as Lacasse will break it out for the K's. Comes over to Embach. Embach tries to dump it into the zone, but intercepted by Wings. Now here's Fatorik. Fatorik. Chelios will just dump it in behind the net. Will tries to flag it down, but it hops over his stick. Saul leaves behind that time for Lowry. Hard along the boards, and Hurd tries to chip it past Urban, but can't. And there will be an offside called against Kalamazoo. 2 minutes, 3 seconds to go in period number 2. 3-2 Kalamazoo. If there is a fifth game tomorrow, it will be right back here at the Wings Event Center. A 7:30 face-off. Tommy Schegler will be back on the call. Now off the draw. Soul comes across to Lacasse. Lacasse weaves it ahead to Hurd. Hurd tries to slip it past Wilson. Does briefly. Now Schrock can't get past Ponich. Hurd comes through the middle. That goes off a skate. Kalamazoo has some numbers, and all sorts of numbers. Here comes Nagy. Nagy backhands it in front. Smothered that time by Will. And again, the bodies fly after the play. This time it was Kennedy crashing the net and tumbling to the ice. And again, coming up at the end of this period, when we go into the second intermission, we'll recap what has happened so far in the game and then have another installment of Sound Off with the Komets. Talked about it earlier, if there is not a Game 6, because if there would be a Game 6, it would be Monday at the Coliseum, and we would not have a Sound Off with the Komets. But if there is not a Game 6, there will be Sound Off with the Komets, 7:30 on 21 Alive. Get out to the Sport One Parkview Ice House at the Thirsty Penguin. The special guest, Komet legendary broadcaster Bob Chase. But still some business to take care of here at the Wings Event Center. Perlini on the draw with Catalyst. And Perlini drops it back. It's flipped ahead. Now Severin tries to bump his man off the play. Can the Komets come away with the puck? And it'll be a offside on the Komets. Minute and a half to go here in period number 2. Well, the Wings are changing personnel. So it's still Severin, Perlini, and Pistilli up against Justin Taylor, Scheidel, and Neal. And the puck goes into the Komet zone, and Roman will just smother that for a face-off. And again, you've got Scheidel and Bartow, then Neal pokes his nose in there. It's just playoff hockey. And now Wilson. You would think he would learn from taking the needless penalty. And now it's Wilson jabbing at Severin. I think there'll be coincidental minors, but Wilson is going off again. There'll be Wilson and Pistilli. And we have unsportsmanlike against both. And that comes at 18:35. So Wilson and Pistilli, each 2 minutes on sportsmanlike conduct. And the Komet fans are giving Wilson the business as he will just go to the dressing room. because there's only 1 minute and 25 seconds left in the period. And Pistilli will also go to the dressing room. And again, this is good officiating because they will play 4-on-4 for the final 125 of period number 2. And you send each of those guys to their respective dressing rooms because since the penalty boxes are right near each other, you can only imagine at the end of the period if they may renew acquaintances. So a good job by Pierre Lambert just to say, hey, go to the dressing room. That avoids any possible stuff happening at the end of the period. A shot right on and a good save that time by Roman Will. Now the Komets ended period 1 up 1. Unless something happens, they may end period 2 down 1. Now Taylor has his pocket picked by Szydlowski. Szydlowski's breaking in. Here comes Sid. He shoots. Oh, what a great save. And Sid tried to get the rebound. He's dropped to the ice that time. Szydlowski really turned on the speed. Fantastic save by Martin. Now here's Szydl trying to dance between the defense. And Szydlowski, who's about out of gas, couldn't get that puck as the K's cleared the zone very neatly. Down to 45 seconds to go. Komets had a glorious chance to tie it. They do again. They've got numbers. Szydlowski down the slot. The shot whistles wide. Now behind the net. Fye tries to collect. Down to the final 35. Kalamazoo looks to break it out. Komets have had a couple of outstanding chances to tie it up. But Martin came up with perhaps the save of the game. Now the final 24 seconds. Szydlowski goes across. Lacasse up ahead to Fye. Fye has it poked off his stick. Down to the final 12. Look out right in front. Blomstrand takes the big hit by Saul. Now it's Catalyst. Komets better be careful in the final seconds. There's a shot that's tipped right over the top of the net as we are about to run out of time, and that will do it for period number 2. So after some great chances by the Komets, I see Sean Szydlowski looking to the sky going, oh, how did I possibly miss that? So Kalamazoo with a pair of goals, and the K-Wings take the lead after 2 periods, 3-2. We'll take a timeout and be back to recap the second period. You're watching My Komets on My TV.
And now, back to My Komets Hockey on My TV Fort Wayne. Presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
Back at the Wings Event Center in Kalamazoo, getting set for third period action, the Komets and the homestanding K-Wings. Again, this game 4 of their first round ECHL Kelly Cup playoff series. The Komets coming in tonight with a commanding 3-0 lead, but Kalamazoo does not wish to go quietly into this night nor this season. Goalie Joel Martin has once again been one of the stories for the K-Wings as he has held the Komets to a couple of goals. And for the first time in the series, Kalamazoo has been able to get more than one puck past the sensational goaltender of the Komets, rookie Roman Will. So we'll see if this is the final 20 minutes or not, because in the playoffs you go to overtime if tied. Taylor controls the draw off the drop. Now circling behind his own net is Urban. Urban turning on the speed, leading the breakout. So it's Urban with the wheels, pulls up at the hash, throws a shot that goes off the blocker, a Roman Will. So Kalamazoo, again, a lot of hop in the step off the opening face-off here in period number 3. Tam rubs his man off the play, and Urban tries to keep it in, and does. Behind the net, Taylor, who has a goal in this game. In fact, he has the lead goal. Pinned to the wall that time by Daniels. Tam unloads on Szydl, sends him to the ice, and Szydl is giving referee Pierre Lambert an earful. Fye comes across. Here's breaking in the shot. That time a glove save that time by Martin on Michael Tam, and being ridden to the ice that time is Fye. So we have played 47 seconds of period number 3. Again, if there is a Game 5, it would be tomorrow night right back here at the Wings Event Center, a 7:30 face-off, and we'll have that for you. on my TV. Tommy Schegler will be back. Severin against Nagy. And it's controlled by the Komets. That time, trying to put the shot right on was Pistilli, but it caromed off a Wings player. Now the Komets look to pin it in. Kalamazoo, though, controls, and Sova starts the breakout. Bangs off behind the Komet net. Nagy pinched off the play by Bartow, but Kalamazoo controls, now kept behind the net. Now here's Correa going back to the point. Sova looking to tee it up. Just throws a wobbly shot that sails by the side of the net. LaFranchise pinches in, bumped off by Martin. They look to center and is intercepted by Bartow. Bartow feeds it ahead to Martin. Martin goes cross ice right onto the tape. Dancing through is Embach. Embach has it poked off of his stick. Takes the big hit that time as it's pinned along the boards. Komets try to dig it out. There is Severin trying to spin away from Fatorik. Boy, I'll tell you what, there's a slash that time by Fatorik as he just slashes Severin to the ice. Unbelievable, and Lambert doesn't see it. Now Fatorik roughs up Schrock, and he's going to get the penalty, kind of a makeup call there as Roman Will races to the Komet bench. And more stuff is being handed out, so it's Fatorik and Schrock. Unbelievable, but he missed again. A vicious slash. Now here comes the Komets dancing in. Lowry comes across, but he shoots it that time high off the leg of Saul. And now again, drilled to the ice is Schrock behind the play. And Schrock is hurt. Schrock is hurt, and he can barely get up. And Schrock is going to struggle to get to the Komet bench. And things are breaking loose. Now Ponich giving Saul a shove like you want to get into any of that. Well, there is going to be penalty time handed out. Unbelievable. It's going to come at 2:17. And Kalamazoo will be lucky to escape with just one penalty called. Now, Fatorik was the perpetrator. And the Komets are going to want an explanation for this. Fatorik is going to get 4 minutes. To me, it should be more. Now the Komets with a chance to get right back into the game with a 4-minute power play. And frankly, Fatorik just lost it. Kalamazoo has a 1-goal lead trying to carry the play to the Komets. So Fatorik gets a rough and a slash. Komets go on the power play, but Ponich has it. And he will dance away with the puck, trying to take time off the clock. Ponich into the Komet zone. Puts the shot, goes wide. Fye takes a look over his shoulder as Ponich tries to pinch in. So Fatorik, 2 for roughing, 2 for slashing. That came at the 2:17 mark. The Komets have to mark to get back into this hockey game. Szydlowski snaps it behind the net. Fye tries to race in, comes right in front, and it's smothered that time by Martin. So Fatorik, a rough and a slash. At 2:17, the Komets with a 4-minute power play. Now it's down to 3.5 minutes. Talked to Mike Embach before the game, and he said one of the things the Komets had to do was give the referee an easy night. What he meant was don't take silly penalties, don't make it easy for him to call penalties on the Komets, so the Komets cannot make a mistake and pick up a penalty now while they have this lengthy power play. Now fed back, comes across to Chelios, and we understand Jake Chelios' father, Chris Chelios, is in the audience tonight. Scheidel tries to keep the puck away from the Komets. Martin comes away with it. Now down to 3 minutes left in the Komet power play. Martin will start the breakout. Just feeds it ahead to Severin. Severin takes the big hit, dumps it on goal, and Martin will come out and smother it. And after the play, 3 Wings unload on Mears. And if Mears gets a penalty, this is going to be amazing. Mears was skating by the net, and 3 Wings just unloaded on him, and they're going to give Mears a penalty. Somebody from Kalamazoo has to go off as well. They just give the lone penalty to Garrett Mears. Wow. And I'm not sure where they got the slash. That comes at the 3:26 mark. And for the time being, that negates the Komet power play. Well, I'm looking at the replay, folks, and it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Mears did not touch Martin at all. He just skated by the net, and 3 K-Wings, a la the Hansen brothers, went to work on Mears. And Mears gets the penalty. Intercepted by Chelios. Chelios now behind the net. He's hit hard off the play by Tam. Well, you can guarantee that the physical play is going to pick up now the rest of the way. Correa dumps it right back into the Komet zone. And there's a shot right on, as picking up a loose puck was Correa. Now, there is always going to be extracurriculars in front of each team's net the rest of the way. And we've got just over 16 minutes to go. Komets will still have some power play time once Mears gets out of the box. So Taylor on the draw with Phi. And Taylor controls. Taylor's had a good game. Now LaFranchise pinching in from his defensive end, tries to wrap it around, and fortunately for the Komets, he lost the handle. And again, this should favor the Komets, the 4-on-4, but we talk about the open ice. There isn't as much of it here at the Wings Event Center as there is in Fort Wayne. An errant pass winds up in the neutral zone. LaFranchise moving back, comes across to Szydl, gliding through the slot. Now here's Szydl, the wrist shot, that goes wide. Szydl, though, runs the puck down. Now behind the net, the Komets have it. Daniels too strong for Phi. Phi giving pursuit as LaFranchise controls. Caroms it off the boards. That pass is behind Sova, and Phi tries to beat him to the puck. 15:20 to go in period number 3. 3-2 Kalamazoo. Both teams continue to skate 4-on-4. Now here's Sova. Sova puts the shot right on. That goes off a Roman will and bounces away. Now the Komets intercept. Here's Pistilli. Pistilli has a breakaway. Pistilli comes in. He's hooked. He shoots. He scores! What a score by Matthew Pistilli! Even though he was being hooked and there was going to be a penalty called, Pistilli goes top shelf, and the Komets have tied the game. The time of the goal is 5:02, and Pistilli continues his red-hot play. Matthew Pistilli, his 3rd goal of the playoffs, and the Komets have answered. Tremendous play by Pistilli. Brand new hockey game, 3-3, and Pistilli really turned on the Jets as Kennedy was trying to reel him in. So 3-3 with 14:50 to go in period 3. Now here come the Wings looking to answer. A shot right on and kicked out of there by Will. Catalyst has it back to the point, but that's too strong, and Catalyst is just drilled that time as he is given the rough ride by Lacasse. And Catalyst a little bit slow to get up. Now, here come the Komets on the power play as Mears comes out from serving his penalty. Neal tries to get by Embach. Embach picks his pocket. Here come the Komets with numbers. Embach shot right on, and a save that time by Martin. So the Komets still have 39 seconds now of power play time as the double minor still has to be served by Fatorik. Now that was the case where the Komets used their speed. Pistilli the goal, the assist to Mitchell Hurd, who feathered the pass ahead to him. Now who will get the goal that now could decide the game or the series? Bourbeau, big hit that time on Tam. Now Phi Can't quite haul it in. Now Taylor tries to take control, and Sova just flips it into the Komet zone. They will wave off the icing as Will comes out to flag the puck down. 14 minutes to go. Komets still with one more power play rush as we're down to the final 10 seconds of the man advantage. Szydlowski gliding through the middle. Komets are onside. Szydlowski dances through. Backhander goes over the top of the net, and in fact winds up in the netting, so there will be a face-off with just 5 seconds left in the man advantage. And now the referee, Lambert, and the linesman, Ducereau and Morgan, confer as to where the faceoff will originate. Michaeli Schrock is back on the ice for the Komets, so that's good to see. Schrock is out there with Perlini and Lowry. Going against Justin Taylor, the gritty centerman for Kalamazoo. And Taylor neatly wins the draw. It's flipped to center, goes over the stick of Martin, so he'll have to go back into his end, and Kalamazoo is changing personnel, so Martin will start the breakout. Martin takes a look, tries to fire it to Schrock. They're going to call that an icing. Well, the Komets questioning that. Martin apparently a stride behind center ice when he shot it too sharply for Schrock to handle. And now just over 13 and a half minutes to go in period number 3. Shots still favor Kalamazoo for the match, 31-26. Komets 4 shots on goal, Kalamazoo 3 for the period. Off the draw, Correa can't handle it, and Schrock feeds it ahead. Kalamazoo takes control. Urban with a long pass, and that is gathered in. Comes across to Correa. Correa takes a look. Oh, he was going to snap it, but took his eyes off the play. It went off his stick, and now Lowry has it for the K's. Lowry ahead to Martin. Martin has it poked off his stick by Correa. Now the Komets chip it ahead. Good play by Bartow. Trying to break free that time is Schrock, but puck's out of play, and we will have a face-off. And we have a timeout here at Wings Event Center. 13:04 left in the third period. We are tied at 3. You're watching My Komets on My TV.
TV Fort Wayne, presented by Parkview Sports Medicine.
Back to the action here at the Wings Event Center. Just under 13 minutes to play in regulation. The Komets and Kalamazoo tied 3-3 in Game 4 of this first round ECHL playoff series. And here come the Komets. They have numbers again, weaving in. Severin puts the shot. Oh, off the blocker that time. Big hit that time by Fatorik, but Severin equal to the task. Martin again coming up big for the Wings. Now it goes into the Komet zone. Nagy racing in against Sol. Nagy tries to slice through, but it's left behind for Mitchell Hurd. Little bob and weave and the head fake, and Hurd will start the breakout. Hurd comes across as Phi will just chip it in, and as Hurd tries to come through, loves that time. So Chelios, after the play, everybody just taking a shot at Mitchell Hurd, and I'll tell you what, you're messing with the wrong guy. Hurd again was just gliding past the net after Martin made the save. Well, once again, though, that's playoff hockey. After every whistle, Kalamazoo is going to poke and prod and joust with the Komets. But the K's are not bashful about returning the favor as well. Phi draws it back to Daniels. Daniels along the half wall, glides in. Daniels cuts in front, now tries for the wraparound, looks to center. That's chipped off of Sova. Now they try to keep the pressure on. Kept in as Embach backhands it, but intercepted by Sova. Sova fires it ahead. That's going to wind up on goal, and Will has to spring out and cover it up. So this time, Tam makes sure that Scheidel can't get in there. 11:55 left in period 3. If the teams, of course, are tied after the third, it would go to a sudden death overtime. Taylor on the draw with 5. Controlled by the Komets, and Embach starts the breakout. Komets have a chance for a 3-on-2. Here's Szydlowski. Szydlowski puts the shot right on. Kicked out that time by Martin. In the corner, they battle for the puck. Now the K-Wings look to break it out. Passes behind Taylor. Embach steps into him. Now Drew Daniels goes across to Michael Tam. Tam steps it up, takes the hit that time from Szydl, dumps it in behind the goal, collected by Chelios. 5 steps into Chelios. Now Chelios not happy about that, and Phi was even trying to let up a bit. Now here comes Chelios after Phi. Right in front. Oh, Embach couldn't quite control. Now it's Szydlowski. Can't keep it deep. Now here's Bartow. Bartow will just feed it ahead to Phi. Phi evades the check that time at Chelios. And now back the other way. Here comes Blomstrand. Right on goal. Sticked aside that time by Roman Will. Clock winds down to 11 minutes left in regulation. LaFranchise slides it across. Urban to Kennedy. A little sharp for his stick. Now Kennedy will just flip it in, and they chase the puck. Lowry bumped off that time, and he tried to backhand the centering pass into no man's land that comes all the way back to the Kalamazoo zone. Martin feeds it ahead, intercepted by Lowry. Here come the K's looking with numbers. Shot kicked aside. Oh, the loose puck. Big rebound, and the Komets couldn't pounce on it. Schrock with the back check. Kennedy, though, keeps the skates. Now here comes Catalyst. Catalyst fires it back behind the net. Now Kennedy goes down as he feels like he was hit in the mouth that time by Saul. Shot right on. And Kennedy and Saul. And now Saul takes a little punch afterwards. And it continues. Conversation now between Saul and Kennedy. Now Ponic stepping in, having a conversation. And the conversation continues. I'm a little surprised the officials are allowing this to just continue on. Komets are going to go for a line change. Now Schrock steps in and has a conversation with Kennedy. 10:22 to go. 3-3, the Komets in Kalamazoo in game number 4. Our announced attendance is 1,864. Many of them Komet fans. There's a bunch of orange and black here tonight in the Wings Event Center. No, that was Fatorik in on the faceoff. Now here comes Severin breaking in. Saul with a shot. That's blocked that time by a sliding Wings defender, and Martin will smother that one. Well, I wonder when the last time Sam Fatorik took a faceoff. A 17-year veteran pro. Well, Saul continues the conversation with some of the Wings. I have a feeling this will be a barn burner right to the end. Nagy will be in on the draw. Looks like they're going to have Hurd take the face-off for the Komets with Severin at the top of the circle. And Nagy cleanly wins it, but Hurd with the quick pursuit. Now Pistilli in there as well as the Komets going after the puck. And Hurd comes out with it and has his pocket picked. And that is cleared to the neutral zone where it's chased down by Martin. Fatorik, though, with the forecheck. Now across it goes to Bartow. Severin has it chopped off of his stick by Nagy. Big drive that time, and it's gloved by Roman Will. Well, you got to give Sam Fatorik all the credit in the world, because if he is perhaps playing his last game, he is giving it everything he has. We have a time.
Parkview Sports Medicine.
Well, our announced attendance for tonight's game is 1,864, and that includes hundreds of Komet fans who are here tonight at the Wings Event Center. Off the faceoff, racing out, leading the breakout is Daniels. Daniels with speed, the fine rushing defenseman, spins now at the half wall, serves it behind the net where it's collected by Embach, bumped off the play by Sova. Now Phi flips it over, Sova to Embach. Embach back to the point, one-timer by Tam. Oh, that caromed off a K-wing. It hit Taylor and then sailed wide of the net, and we'll have to see where that hit Justin Taylor. He is quickly up. And the fans happy to see that. And there is why you wear the helmet with the visor, folks. But good to see Justin Taylor spring up immediately and go to the bench, and they're going to check him. Looks like the trainer for the K-Wings is working on his head right around the ear area as Scott Allison had a towel. So now Phi against Nagy. And the draw right there still at the dot. Puck comes loose, and it's winding up right on the Komet goal. And that time will sweep it aside. Racing back is Szydlowski. He's pinched by Patrick Kennedy, but breaking out is Embach. Embach with speed, chips it past that time. Sova, the defenseman. Ponic has it. Ponic takes the hip check right along the blue line wall. Now here's Daniels ahead. Daniels flips it into the zone. That will go off the netting, and they're going to say touched by the Komets. I thought that might have gone off the stick of a K-Wings player. 9:03 to go in regulation. Komets 3, Kalamazoo 3 in Game 4 of this first round ECHL playoff series. If there would be a fifth game, right back here at the Wings Event Center tomorrow night, 7:30, we'll have all of the action on my TV. Tommy will be back. Dumped into the Komet corner. Nagy a quick look over his shoulder. Correa right in front. Oh, that time Fatorik again. Boy, Sam Fatorik is reborn playing forward in this game. Now it's Mears trying to slash by the defender Urban. Urban knocks him right off his pins. Schrock steps in and delivers a check. LaFranchise briefly has it poked away, and Lacoste gathers for the Komets. William Lacoste takes a look, comes up ahead to Schrock. Schrock has it in his feet, goes back to Lacoste with 8.5 minutes to go. In regulation, we are tied at 3. Lowry tries to spin it ahead, goes right on the stick of Mears. Mears shoots it off of Urban. Mears gets the rebound, shot right in the chest that time. What a save! And Martin didn't see the rebound. Komets trying to get it back. Schrock slides it by. Buried to the ice as he was trying to play the puck was Mears. No call. And here come the Wings breaking in. Urban. That's deflected over the top of the net. Now Urban bumped off the play by Saul, and the Komets look to break out again. Hurd has the puck. Now Hurd will lead the charge. Comes across, leaves for Lowry. Lowry, and that goes off the stick of Chelios and into the netting, so the face-off in the Kalamazoo zone with 7:52 left. Period number 3, we are tied at 3. Komets have closed the gap now in the shots on goal. Kalamazoo has 32 for the game, the Komets 31. So the Komets 9 shots in the period to 4 for Kalamazoo. Last gasp for the Wings. They need to win tonight or their season is over. Now Severin is going to be called for a penalty. Right off the face-off as Severin spun around trying to play the puck. They're going to call Severin for a high stick. And then Chelios trying to lobby 4 minute. It's going to be a 4-minute penalty. Wow. Unbelievable. Severin will get a double minor for high sticking. And it comes at 12:09. Well, right off the face-off as the puck was coming over, Severin spun around trying to play the puck and his stick came up. And inadvertent or not, the rule is you are responsible for controlling your stick. And Chelios was quick to show Pierre Lambert that he had a bloody lip, so it goes as a double minor. Kalamazoo with a 4-minute power play. Fatorik back at the point to LaFranchise. Now right behind the net, they look to center. That almost caroms off a skate in front as Catalyst couldn't get it through, but Fatorik quickly regroups. Now it's Catalyst behind the net. Back to Fatorik. Komets try to poke the puck away. It's loose right in front and gloved by Roman Will. Well, this could be the match right here, either way. Kalamazoo with a glorious opportunity to take the lead after the double minor for high sticking was called on Severin. Still 3:42 to go in the power play, 7.5 minutes to go in regulation. Catalyst and Lowry. Lowry neatly wins the faceoff. Tam banks it off the boards, but it'll be Blumstrand collecting for Kalamazoo. Now near the top of the circle behind the net. Catalyst looks to center. Up top it comes Fatorik. Fatorik comes across LaFranchise. Now LaFranchise as they cycled around. Here's Blumstrand. Ooh, tries a sneaky shot. What a glove save that time by Will. Big save that time for Will. That time Catalyst was trying to set the screen in front. And still 3:24 to go in the man advantage for the K-Wings. 7:15 left in period number 3. Nagy on the draw once again against Lowry. Faceoffs are critical at this stage. Komets again control. Embach looks to chip it out, and he does. Great hustle by Embach. Made Chelios spin around, and the Komets with the good forecheck. Now Urban to Nagy. Nagy will look to carry in, just flips it in instead. Lowry racing after the puck, has to take a look, tries to ring it around the boards. Chelios, a good job of pinching, though, to keep it in. That's a big play. Now Correa sidesteps Lacasse. Nagy up top to Urban. Urban comes across to Chelios. Chelios wheels, comes back up top. Urban just tries to feed it in front. Knocked down to the ice that time is Neal. They're trying to put big bodies in front of Roman Will on this power play. Urban back at the point, slides along the blue line. Now Urban near the top of the circle, spins around the half wall, gets it behind, rubbed off the play as Lacasse. Lacasse comes away with the puck. Lacasse had some open ice, finds it, but intercepted that time in the neutral zone. Chelios, good backhand pass goes to Neal. Neal leaves for Nagy. Nagy dancing with the puck. Chelios open, comes across, one-timer. Oh, what a big save by Will, and he smothers the rebound. And after the play, Lacasse will shove Neal out of there as Urban bidding for the lead goal with the one-timer. Kalamazoo has kept the pressure in the Komet zone. And we are yet to be halfway through this power play that Kalamazoo was on after Severin sent off for the double minor for high sticking. Still 2:21 to go in the Kalamazoo man advantage. 6:12 to go in regulation. Off the draw, Komets can't clear. LaFranchise has it. Comes over to Fatorik. Fatorik goes cross ice. K-Wings take a look as they set it up methodically. Blomstrand down low. They try to center in front. It's chipped away. And Fatorik, though, able to keep it in. Now Martin has the interception. Can Martin clear? Takes the hit by Fatorik. He dumps it into neutral ice. LaFranchise starts the rush up ahead. Off to Kennedy. It's tipped off his stick, and Martin just unloads, and kept in, though, by the feet of Blomstrand. Oh, that time Bartow just levels his man, Catalyst. But they play on. LaFranchise tries to tee it up. They look to tip it in front. Just goes wide as Kennedy was bidding for the lead goal. There'll be another penalty called on the Komets as Catalyst sold that his stick was slashed out of his hand. They center in front. No, they can't control, and now there'll be a whistle. And Bartow is going to unload on Catalyst once again. Now the Komets are having a tough time now maintaining their composure and staying out of the box. Looks like there'll be an interference call. And it's Bartow, and now Bartow is not very happy with Pierre Lambert. So interference. That comes at 14:38. And now the Komets have quite a storm to weather. And now there's a timeout called so that both teams can talk it over. This will be a 30-second timeout. And Kalamazoo has called the timeout. Coach Nick Bootlin wants to make sure he has his troops rested and gets the power play set up. And this basically will be the hockey game. 5:22 left in regulation. And Kalamazoo will have a two-man advantage for a minute and a half. So after the Komets come back to get the equalizer on the breakaway goal by Matthew Pistilli, 5 minutes into this third period, the K's have not been able to stay out of the box as first C.J. Severin went off a double minor for high sticking at the 12:09 mark. And now Bartow has taken an interference penalty at the 14:38 mark. So a two-man advantage for the K-Wings for at least a minute and a half. If by any chance at all the Komets could kill these penalties, it would be a huge momentum boost for the K's. First, the important faceoff. Catalyst wins. Draws back to Fatorik, to LaFranchise. A lot of jousting in front between Lacasse and Catalyst. Now, the one-timer kind of fanned on that time as LaFranchise broke his stick. Komets can't clear, though. Now, the big drive just goes wide, as that time teeing it up was Blomstrand. Kalamazoo methodically working it, comes up, LaFranchise top of the circle, comes across, one-timer score. Roman Will didn't have a chance, and Blomstrand has given the Wings the lead. Power play goal for Kalamazoo, and Blomstrand his second of the game. And that comes at 15:07. So Kalamazoo goes on top as the Komets penalties have come back to haunt them. And there is still another minute and a half of Kalamazoo power play time. Looks like LaFranchise would get one of the assists. So under 5 minutes to go in regulation, and that time Martin just fires the length of the rink. So the first thing the Komets have to do is keep the penalty kill going and wipe out this remaining Kalamazoo power play. Now Correa takes the hit by Schrock. Nagy comes cross ice. Flagged down that time by Urban. Now Urban at the side of the net for Neal. Neal spins away from Sol. Leaves for Nagy. Nagy comes out to the high point. Chelios comes across. Shot steered aside and gloved that time by Roman Will. But still 57 seconds left in the Kalamazoo power play. So the power play goal goes to Blomstrand. LaFranchise got the first assist. Nagy picked up the second assist. So the Komets now work cut out for them. 4:19 to go in the third. And the Kalamazoo power play continues. Kennedy on the draw with Phi. And it's drawn back to Fatorik across to LaFranchise. And a good job by Phi to poke it out to the neutral zone. Blomstrand takes it right back into his own end. Now he will circle, weave back behind the net, and he will leave it for the veteran Sam Fatorik. Now 4 minutes left in regulation. Kalamazoo 4-3. Kennedy takes a look, goes cross ice. LaFranchise puts himself offside, and that should be a whistle. Well, still 32 seconds left in the power play. Severin back on the ice for the K's along with Pistilli. And Nagy with the draw, dumped into the Komet zone. K's will quickly clear as it's flipped the length of the rink. Martin will steer it aside, backhands it behind the net. And the Wings look to break out. Correa spins, comes across to Nagy. Now Nagy takes a look. Correa takes it on his backhand into the Komet zone, rings it around the boards where Nagy waits for it. Fans on it, trying to dump it from behind, and Pistilli breaks out for the Komets. Tries to slide by Chelios, just dumps it in. Urban collects behind his own net. And this will do it for the penalty for the Komets, as now it's even strength, but 3:18 to go in regulation. So you have to believe Kalamazoo will try to take as much time now off the clock as possible. Nagy is stepped into by Hurd. Now Saul. Hurd has it, comes across ice, but that was in no man's land. Saul tries to poke it ahead. Intercepted by Taylor. Here comes Taylor across to Neal. Taylor can't quite take the return pass, intercepted by Hurd, and Hurd has speed as he breaks up. Here comes Mitchell Hurd trying to dance by Ponich. Hurd tries to flip it in front. Phi is yanked down as he was trying to penetrate near the front of the goal, but it was gloved by Joel Martin. 2:45 left in regulation. Kalamazoo 4, the Komets 3. Komets having a brief conversation. Lowry is out with Mears and Perlini. Taylor is out for the K-Wings to take the draw. And the Komets draw it back. Daniels racing in, looks to center. Oh, that caromed off of Martin. And the K-Wings able to clear to center ice. Now the Komets again looking to break in, but intercepted. Here comes Bourbeau. Bourbeau with a shot. Will makes the save, back behind the net. Szydl comes back with it, feeds it back to the point. Urban with the quick shot, right on, and blocked away that time by Will. Dumped behind the net. Justin Taylor racing in. Komets try to break it out, but Chelios just dumps it back behind the Komet zone where Bourbeau has it. He's bumped off the play by Daniels. 2:10 left in regulation. And Kalamazoo is doing a good job of keeping the Komets pinned into their zone. Back behind the net, Taylor just trying to take time off the clock. Puck is just sitting there, and Kennedy cruises in to take it over. Now the Komets look to break out. We're under 2 minutes to go. Tam takes a look as he circles. Mears has it poked off his stick. Here comes Kennedy. Kennedy will just wheel, take a look, snap the shot on, and gloved by Roman Will. So the face-off will be in the Komet zone, and now time is running out for the Komets. I'm sure Roman will be looking toward the K's bench to see when head coach Kerry Graham might be pulling him. Catalyst in for the face-off against Phi. And here come the Komets breaking out. 100 seconds to go in regulation. Szydlowski flips it on goal, and Martin will take the face-off. And Wilson decides to come in and give Szydlowski a shove. 1:34 left in regulation. Roman Will sneaking out of his crease, awaiting the sign, and it looks like Komet coach Gary Graham wants to call a timeout. So Gary Graham will talk it over, and I'm sure part of the strategy will be when to pull Roman Will. Usually with this type of situation, you wait to see if you're going to win the face-off. Will is going to come to the Komet bench just so he makes sure that he knows when they will want him to head for the bench for the extra attacker. Well, the K's came back and tied the game at 3 on a great breakaway goal by Matthew Pistilli, but then back-to-back penalties have come back to haunt the Komets. Severin, a double minor, 4 minutes for high sticking at 12:09. Barteau went off at 14:38 for interference. That gave Kalamazoo a 5-on-3 advantage, and they worked the power play to perfection. And Ludwig Blomstrand got his second goal of the game, and that is the lead goal right now as he scored that one with just under 5 minutes to go. Well, Gary Graham has decided not to wait to see who wins the face-off as Roman Will is out. So it's Phi, Embach, Szydlowski, Pistilli, and Hurd. So you have 5 forwards on the ice along with Daniels. Hurd feeds it back. Daniels off the boards. Hurd has it poked off his stick back to center ice. Now it comes across. Komets just wrap it deep into the Kalamazoo zone. Oh, a wild bounce. That time Ponich tries to clear. Can't for the time being. Tries it again. Now the Komets have it. Hurd comes back to Daniels. Daniels goes cross ice. One-timer, and that goes right off the chest that time, as it'll be Neal, or check that, it's Kennedy firing at the length of the rink, and that's icing. Not sure what Patrick Kennedy was thinking on that one, and I think in the process of him firing the puck virtually the length of the rink, I think he took a shot as well. Well, that's where Kennedy could have skated with it a little bit. He had a man breaking, or you carry it a little bit. But he thought he had the open net and he could hit it from his own zone. Now Phi again on the draw. There's a quick shot that time and a blocker save by Martin as Pistilli was right there. 1 minute to go in regulation. Can the Komets get the equalizer? Taylor clears. Racing back is Daniels. Daniels wheels in his own zone, takes a look, now he leaves for the breaking Eric Fye. Fye with speed, dumps it in, Fye gives chase. Ponich takes the big hit that time from Fye. 3 Komets try to gather around the puck. Here's Pistilli. Pistilli back to Daniels. Daniels goes cross ice. Szydlowski just fires it on goal, and it's gloved that time by Martin. And meanwhile, of course, it's Ben Wilson as he tries to give a little face wash to Fye. 33 seconds to go. Fye again on the face-off. Now we'll see what the referee Pierre Lambert is up to. Looks like there might be some debris on the ice. And by the way, this, I'm not sure, is working to the Komets' advantage because it gives Kalamazoo time to rest their troops a little bit. I have a feeling some fans have been throwing something on the ice. So they are getting the obligatory warning from the PA announcer. And still some debris left to be picked up. That's going to be Fye on the draw, looks like, against Catalyst. 33 seconds to go in regulation. And the Komets need to conjure up a goal. See if they can do it. Puck goes into the corner. Chelios behind his own net tries to clear and is able to do so as he caromed it off a couple of Komets. Now we're down to the final 22. Szydlowski will circle. Komets have maybe one last rush. Comes ahead to Embach. But time is running out, down to 14 seconds. Catalyst intercepts and misses, but now Taylor races in. Now Szydlowski tries to break it ahead. Down to the final 5 seconds. Racing in is Daniels, battling with Kennedy. Tries to center. 5 steps into his man. 2 second and 1. And this one is over. And it looks like Lambert was going to call a penalty to boot at the end of the game, which would come at the 20-minute mark. But it makes no difference at this point because the Kalamazoo Wings have won the hockey game as they score a power play goal with just under 5 minutes to play. The final score, Kalamazoo 4, the Komets 3. Post-game show is coming up next. You're watching My Komets on My TV.